Yeah, so I'm excited to share these two bills, and we have both Senator Clyde Chambliss and Representative Chris Sells are going to be sponsoring both of these bills. And I want to say a special thank you to Eagle Forum, to Becky, to Uni, and to our friends with ALCAP and API as well. But you guys have really helped us push this effort and make some huge headway with this effort the last few years. So let me just review our previous bill that we are planning that's going to be pre-filed again this year. So that was, last year it was called the Children's Device Protection Act, our Children's Device Protection Bill. And as Becky said, this bill would simply cause the filtering software, filtering technology that already exists on smartphones and tablets to be defaulted on when the phone or tablet is activated in the state of Alabama for a minor. And we have biometrics and geolocation on our devices. These devices know where you are, they know who you are, how old you are, they know a lot more about you than you probably want them to. But it's a very simple software update that we would be asking device manufacturers to do. And we've talked to people that work for Apple and Google that have told us this would only take a matter of hours, maybe a day at the most, for them to make this change so that Alabama's children, when they're handed a new device or an activated device, would have the automatic filter on. So it would provide a layer of safety for children when they're given that device, especially for children who don't have involved caregivers, because these setting it up can be very cumbersome and complicated, and unfortunately a lot of parents don't even realize that those safety features are there on the phone. So that is one bill that last year and the year before we made it unanimously through the House. And it came through Senate committee with bipartisan support, but it was killed 2 years ago in the Senate. It was not allowed on the calendar. And then this last year, it was effectively killed in the Senate again because it was waited until the very last day to put it on the very end of the calendar after all the gambling, everything, knowing that it wouldn't have a chance to be voted on. We know if it had been voted on these last few years, it would have passed very strongly with bipartisan support. This is an issue that people care about across the state, Republicans, Democrats. Everybody's like, why has this not been passed? People are very, very angry and upset about it because you speak to teachers, you speak to parents, pastors, everyone says we've got to do something to stand in the gap for children on this issue. So we are prayerful that we'll have a better outcome this year, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute too. But, I should probably say the opposition, because people often ask me, who in the world is against protecting children from pornography, illegal content, and the people that we stand in opposition to at these public hearings. You've got on our side, you've got parents, mental health professionals, tech experts, and then on the other side you have lobbyists representing big tech in the porn industry. And unfortunately, those big tech interests have come through the Business Council of Alabama, and in this last session they came through the Commerce Department, the Alabama Commerce Department. So that kind of alludes back to some of the things that Ann was sharing with us, I think. Google and Apple and some of these big companies have a lot of sway in our state. People don't realize how much power they have. And so it's very concerning that they could, take a few people in leadership and put them under so much pressure to kill something that's so favorable to our citizens. So we're praying that that's going to be different this session, and so be reaching out to our leadership and letting them know that you care about that bill as well, and support their leadership. So the other bill that I'm very excited about, there's a flyer in your packet. It's the App Store Accountability Act. This bill is being advanced in several states: South Carolina, Utah, Hawaii, Alaska, South Dakota. And it, like Becky said, it's also being advanced at the federal level. Basically, to put it in a nutshell, as best I can, the app store on your devices is where, it's the access point for everything on your phone and your tablet. It is where everything comes through the app store. So in a brick and mortar store, if you go into a 7-Eleven, a convenience store, a child can't buy cigarettes or alcohol if you go into a bank, a child can't sign a contract, for a loan. But in these app stores, children are signing contracts with these major multi-billion-dollar companies, and they're signing contracts that effectively are against the law. They're signing contracts into content that is deemed obscene and damaging to children. So there is a very brilliant lady who's a mom, and she is generally a brilliant lady who's been working on this bill for a long time and crafting it, and her name's Melissa McKay. But we are going to carry this bill in Alabama this session, and we really want to see everyone jump on board with this one as well. We think we'll have the same amount of support, if not more so, because Meta is actually in favor of this effort. So it kind of breaks up the big tech monolith by having Meta on our side with that. So basically it will hold the App Store, the developers of apps accountable, and the manufacturers accountable to protect children and uphold our existing laws, simply put. So I'm happy to, and there's Supreme Court precedent for the device filter bill, and there's also federal court precedent for this bill as well. So we know it will hold up in court.